Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. It is gray and dim and raining outside. It's probably chill. I don't really feel chill, but that's okay. I slept after getting to bed very, very late. It's about 1:30 before I actually maybe fell asleep. So hokey smokes, and then up at 6:30. Yay, but at least I got some sleep, and that's good. Hopefully you were able to sleep. That too would be a good thing. I'm going to do this early because I got a lot to talk about. Hey, front-loading the videos, if you could toss me a like, it'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, any comment at all, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are literally beautiful and literally awesome people who help to keep me and my aging pet alive. Hopefully soon I'll get a hamster soon to help keep me company. But without your help, I would be hosed very, very badly, even homeless. So if you would like to help keep me surviving, there are links to the Patreon in the video description, as well as a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link with things like cat food, and then there's a post office box where if you send me anything at all, I will show it off on camera. So thumbs up and very, very cool. Yay! Well, hokey smokes. First off, I wanted to talk about this. I have mentioned before how Wondershare Filmora did me right. You know, I bought my license way back at like version 8 because I remember being irate when they went to version 9. And then when I started using it again, after years and years, I just upgraded right to 11. And then when 12 became available, I upgraded right to it, everything activated, and everything was good. And I've been saying, you know, I hate the way they have a subscription plan, but they did me right. I was one of the very, very, very few people that things went right for. When I upgraded to 12, it just went, okay, you're activated, thumbs up. And so my lifetime license was just going. Very, very few people had that happen. Even people who had been sponsorship ambassadors that had made hundreds of videos telling people how to use the program were being told, hey, if you want to upgrade to version 12, you got to pay for it. It's this much money. And then they kept doubling down on that because that was not a mistake. If you wanted to upgrade, you had to pay for it. Now the thing was, they kept referring back and saying, look, if you refer to the license for 9 and above, you'll see it says this. But they just ignored all the people that bought it from before 9. They never referred to them, ever. They never referred to any version before version 9. It was no matter when you bought yours, they said, hey, the license for number 9 and up. Well, we didn't buy it from 9. We bought it from 8. And if you take a look at the FAQ and all that for version 9, back even a couple months ago, it said, if you have this, you can upgrade for free. But then quietly, those things started being scrubbed off the website, even from things a week or two ago. Just going, whoop, whoop. And when I say a week ago, it is now January 6th or 7th. So, 2023. So they were actively scrubbing their stuff. You could go to the Wayback Machine, the Internet Archive thing that archives websites, and you can compare and find out exactly when they were removing this stuff from the site. And they were doubling down on this hard. This one guy was in an email exchange with him, and they knew exactly what they were doing because he brought up all of these questions, and they answered everything but those questions. So they were dancing around it, and they knew exactly what they were doing. To the point, they were getting massive negative feedback on Twitter and online, growing as hundreds of thousands of people were going, why do I have to pay? My lifetime license says I don't have to. And then the guy who was making the video got copyright strike. Wondershare Filmora hit him with a copyright strike because they said he used copyright material in one of his videos. He checked the video that it was a copyright strike on. It was a sponsorship video. Wondershare Filmora paid him to make that video. They would not let him post it. They would not pay pay him for it unless he included this bit of copyrighted material. And then, years later, they strike him for it. Yeah, they kept doubling down hard and punishing those that were trying to complain, until I got an email before I knew all this was happening saying, hey, if you bought Wonder Show Filmora 12 and you had the lifetime license, you're going to get a free 1 year subscription to our subscription service for video effects and sound effects and all that. And you don't have to worry, if you have the license, it lasts forever. And yeah, they come out now on their website and they're saying, we are sorry for all this. If you have a lifetime license, then yes, you get to keep continuing to upgrade your program forever and ever and ever. Because they were saying, nope, 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 nope. But when you've got negative feedback that's growing like that, what sort of reception do you want with your newly released program, with people that are going, oh, what are the reviews? And all they get is all this negative stuff. Or do you think on the release of their program, they don't want that? Yeah, that was growing up into a big, you look up Wondershare Filmora 12, you're just going to see the wall of complaints. So yeah, they backed up and whoops, whoops, whoops. So thank goodness I actually got to avoid all that accidentally. Thumbs up for that. So yeah, well, I said they did me good. They were doing dirty to so many other people, potentially millions. And they did make a good point, though, even as they were doubling down on this. So many other services, when they have gone subscription, have just canceled other people's stuff. They just say, hey, if you want access to this stuff, here's how you buy a subscription. Doesn't matter what we sold you before, go away. So they pointed out that they're not doing that. And that's true. That is true. So thumbs up. And then, of course, on to some other things. I had mentioned that I overheat a lot when I sleep, quite easily. One of the big things about this is I sleep on a foam mattress. A few years into my marriage with my wife, she had to have heart surgery. She ended up in an adult family home. I moved in with her so I could be with her. And then she ended up buying one of those big memory foam beds. I mean, it's only 6 inches and it wasn't thick enough for my body. I've had to buy another memory foam topper to put on top of that to make it closer to like 10 inches or so. Memory foam, any foam, retains and reflects heat. So even though I may only have a sheet on top of me, because I'm on foam, that is heating up and reflecting my own heat back at me. So yeah, it's not that I'm really being special because I don't get cold. I'm on a memory foam mattress. And so yeah, that I don't get cold because of that. I mean, I got the fans on going just so that I don't overheat. Part of it, of course, is the fact that it's like January and it's still like warm. But there you go. But at least there's that. Now let me check out on all this. I do. There's so much I want to say, but there's so much that there's so much. One of the things that's going on is also with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. Wizards of the Coast bought and ate Tactical Studies Rules, TSR, the people who made AD&D. And then WotC, Wizards of the Coast, got eaten by Hasbro, and Hasbro has been just saying they've been under-monetizing and they're just going really, really bad. There was something that WotC had made in the early 2000s called the Open Game License. And what they said is, it's if you want to use our systems, this system and this system, version 3 and I think, edition 5, you can. And this is your license. And they tried to future-proof it to say if you do this, if changes are made in the future, you can still do this and use these. So it was explicitly written into the OGL that it's supposed to last forever. Well, now there has been a leaked thing from the Hasbro executives where they're just going to be changing the game license entirely. where instead of everybody can do this, now you can only do it if WotC says so. And they own everything you do. If you make a product and you sell it, that's fine. You can, and up until a certain amount of money, you won't have to pay them royalties. Once you hit that, then yes, you do. But you may be selling it and making money, but that means they have the perfect right to sell it themselves, make all the money, share nothing with you ever. They own it for eternity. And not only that, they've gone through and they're saying the original game license is dead. It does not exist. Plus, if you're a third-party publisher now, they just say, hey, we can take this away, and all we have to do is give you 30 days notice. Who is going to put an investment of maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars into having physical inventory when the company can just say, hey, we changed our mind. It's written in the license now, you have to physically destroy every single version of every single product that you have now. Who's going to invest in that? Who's going to make material when WotC says they own it? When they can just take away your license like that? Who's going to do all that? So, I do want to run another system. I want to, which ties into something else I was talking with my therapist about. I had mentioned before how I had made the conceptual leap from having to know exactly how to map something to just give me vague guidelines, I'll take over from there, and how that was a huge conceptual leap for me. And how I had also told my subconscious, I want to understand oracles and GM emulation and solo stuff. Can you think on this and make it work? And then I just ignored it after that. And then 4 or 5 days later, I was out walking and I got it. My therapist is very happy about that. That is a sign of neuroplasticity. You learn. Physical brain changes. These are synapses that are growing and connecting. Neuroplasticity. I still have it at 60. Yay! A very good thing. Definitely a thumbs up. But I've also talked about how I want to do other game systems. I've got another note quest to tie up with this last note quest thing, and then that's the last one. I even talk in game about how I've done enough note quest now. I want to show other systems as well. I'm going to be tying up the 4 Against Darkness stuff and then moving on to other things from there too. One of the things I want to show is how you can make these things work for you all together. Using low or no cost stuff or even paid things, you can do whatever you want, and it took a long time for me to be able to make that conceptual leap. I want to use the mechanics of Scarlet Heroes, making the characters, combat, etc., etc., etc. I want to use the overland travel systems of, say, maybe NoQuest or 4 Against Darkness or D100 Dungeon, and then for the actual dungeon system crawling, use the dungeon generation for maybe 4 Against Darkness. Or there's a game called that's a Treasure Awaits that has a game system on it, and there are people that sell like for $1. They are game system agnostic, where it's just like an overland hex crawl, where you're just doing an adventure on your own with this sheet here that has the rules for the overland generation, and then the other side has oracles and oracle tables for how you do the stuff, questions that you ask. And then there's a dungeon generation page that's just the same. It's just a 2-pager, and most of one of the pages is just hex pages. In fact, you flip it over and it's the same thing, the full page. Most of it is mapping area, and then there's the little rules section. So yeah, I want to use like Scarlet Heroes for the actual mechanics, and then for overland travel, maybe Note Quest, and then for dungeon generation, D100 Dungeon, still use the combat system of Scarlet Heroes, plus, of course, use the monsters from both the basic fantasy role-playing game, which is completely 100% free, and it's hundreds of pages, because it's many, many books that are all free, and the monsters from White Box and such. So I think that'd be really cool. And just as any oracle at all, there's many, many, many different oracles, one of which I'm going to talk about this one real quick. I have mentioned how it's kind of a snake eating its own tail in the game world system right now on the indie scene. Because there are games like Swords and Sorcery and Swords and Wizardry and all that. And White Box and all that are based on the Swords and Sorcery thing. There is a game called Knave, and it is a game that is you're not playing a class, you're playing just a peasant. So you're classless. You can be anything you want, but you're still having adventurers, only of course it's a very brutal and harsh world. And so of course there's rules on how to play that solo. And then based on the game Knave is the game Maze Rats, which is another full game with solo rules for that other people made. And then there's the game Cairn, which is based on Knave, which is based on, I think it's Into the Darkness. And then they had an interview with the guy who does the game Cairn and says, please use my game as a basis for your own game and then sell that. Please do. Which is nice. I mean, if he hadn't said that, it'd be weird since his game is based on another game. But of course, there's a Cairn solo thing. One of the things that these do, because it seems like it's the same person who's doing all these solo things, just 2 pages of solo rules. One of the big things is on oracles, where they divide it up into 2 sections. Yes-no questions, closed questions, and open questions, which are, like, hey, why would this person want this? And then they just have your standard oracle table for the yes-nos, which is, yes and, yes, no, yes, but, yes, no and, no but, and no, and all that. And then there's the other tables where it's like, well, why would this person want that? And it's like an adjective and then an adverb. So you roll one and then you roll the other, and it might be like hunted, revealing. You have to act as the game master a bit when you're playing solo, no matter what. And especially with these kind of oracles, because you have to interpret that. Oh, hunted, revealing. Maybe what's being sought will reveal who the person is being hunted by. Maybe if you pick it up, it will reveal if you are ever being hunted. Maybe there's, and then you have to take these, interpret them, and then make the adventure work for you. That is also one of the things I do in the Note Quest thing, because in the latest one, I wanted to kind of wrap it up because making another floor of the dungeon would not have been fun for me. Because I wanted to wrap it up so I could move on to another thing, but I still wanted to have fun with the game because I'm having fun with the game. So there was a secret passage I found that would have led downward to another floor, at which point it was like, executive game master decision? No, there's not. No, that was just nothing found. So you gotta be your own game master and make decisions that fit your game, your story. So thumbs up on that. And now I've got no time to actually talk about the other stuff that I wanted to talk about with the cryptid stuff, because oh boy, there's a ton of cryptid stuff that I want to talk about, as well as other things. All culminating with the phrase, the world is pulsating with a cryptid heartbeat. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, we have Flora Mew. Thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. And yes, you spelled Utak absolutely correctly. And Jesse Koskinen. I like the little things that they provide in Wondershare. And I've known that they have air guitar stuff. I think it's bizarre, but then while I'm an quote-unquote entertainer and actor, there are some things that I don't think I could do comfortably at all. An air guitar in front of people is one of them. JAYY, thumbs up, thank you. Good to see you, and I hope to see you more in the comments. And Cake, yeah, I would... I'd be freezing likely too if it wasn't a foam mattress. And hokey smokes, if If you've had the Covfefe bug, I am so very sorry. And then Big Beef Scorcho, I like the name, and thank you. There's Brandon Johnson. I am going to be going back to reaction videos here very, very soon as I can get my mood more stabilized. We have Chris, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. And on the one hand, a fridge would be nice, and on the other, I need reasons to get out of this room. I spend 95% of my time in here anyway. I don't need excuses to stay in here. I need excuses to get out. So, a nice idea, bud. And then we have RJ Mitchell, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. It's good to see you in the comments. We have JEMY, thumbs up and thank you much. And that is it. 9 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thumbs up and thank you. You get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people, and that is appreciated. Also, Hokey Smokes. It's just a Saturday today as I'm recording this, so I'm going to take the day pretty much easy. I'm going to try to do some physical pencil and paper RPG stuff just for my own pleasure. I'm going to try and play more video games. I have been playing the remake of that Kingdoms of Amalur game, which is freaking awesome, by the by. I have again, once more, restarted playing Grim Dawn because that game is awesome. So I got stuff I want to get done, and hopefully you can get stuff done that you want to get done, but hopefully just around the relaxation front. And of course, wherever you are, if people are getting sick, just please try to take appropriate precautions. If people are getting hurt where you are, like in the Canary Islands where they have actual active volcanoes, don't go swimming in lava. And of course, no matter where you are in the world, if you are out walking and you actually hear the mournful howl of a bus horn, that probably is the bus with your name on it. And if it is, well, you aren't going to know exactly when it's going to hit you, but when it does, oh my God, the impact is going to smear you between that bus and whatever it hits you against. Ugh. So, until we meet again, you take care, have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.